Being bad and more so typical DPS Powercreep. No, she came out. No, switch bro. She came out weak as hell. She was on the same level. She was on the same level as Makoto. Like, she came out weak. That was the problem. I know a lot of people talk about power creep in gacha games and how it's bad. But no, power creep is a I'm going to be real. To some extent, power creep is a necessity. I hate to say it, it is a necessity to keep a game to keep a gacha game running. Power creep is needed, because if not, you pull one of every single element, and then you never pull anything ever again, and you will clear everything, and then people eventually will get bored and move on. That's what they do. That's what happens. You need new stuff that's stronger than the old stuff to incentivize players to want to pull the new stuff. That's how she works. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the way she goes. No. Mate, like, quite frankly, Mesa, Figure Skate Mont, and Makoto are all similar power levels. They're all similar power levels. Mesa at A0 did fine. It just, you gotta think that there's nothing to do. There wasn't bleed content, and there wasn't DOT and physical content. That wasn't, or else you just have to straight cater it to them. Like, and the thing is that when they came out with the dot boss, another character did extremely well on that as well. Sepia did extremely well because of the fact that, to make up for the game, like the way bleed works and dot works, they basically ballooned the HP on those bosses, which now made Sepia super strong for that one patch or whatever. And then they did a small rework. But that's how it worked. Like, they're all similar. They're all similar. But you gotta realize, like, how bad it's not good for a character that comes out. Let's see, when did Makoto come out? What? Actually, I can check. We can actually check this. All right. P5X banner history. Again, we can talk about power creep and how it can be bad. But if power creep is done well, like, HSR is insane for power creep. HSR is absolutely disgusting on how they do power creep. I will 100% admit that. They do power creep bad because you get a character, and within a month or two, it's power crept. That is bad power creep. Power creep itself is not bad. But Makoto came out June 20th, right? And then Figure Skate Mont came out in November. So at June, so that is what, 5 months? So that means realistically nothing got, and then our first biggest form of power creep technically this game did power creep as well, because we had Yui right here, and then so when did Yui come out? April 25th. So within 2 months we had major power creep from going from Yui all the way to Makoto. Makoto outclassed Yui. An extreme amount of power creep right there. Because Makoto was way fucking better than Yui was. Both at A0. Mesa performed as well as Makoto. And I'm fine with that. Because that's 2.5 months. And then 2.5 months later, we had another single target DPS that was as powerful as Makoto. And when you play this game where you don't need as much stuff because of how easy the content is itself, it just makes so you don't need to pull. But the problem with Figure Skate Mont is the same thing that happened to Yui. Within not even a month, within a month, we go from Figure Skate Mont power level all the way to Kasumi. So there wasn't a gradual, like, it's a lot better to see a gradual level of power being done as compared to how they're doing this game, or how they have been doing this game, where it's basically characters are on par. Nothing wrong with that. But then all of a sudden, you go from, Makoto level for 5 months To 6 months later, now you have Kasumi level. And now Kasumi basically does everything just better. Her single target is just insane compared to. And then we're still on the same power level, realistically right now. Going from, when did Kasumi come out? December 19th is when she came out. She is, I wouldn't say she gets power crept by Makoto. Like, Makoto Yuki does not really power creep her. And that's 5 months after. Over 5 months. She's still not even really power crept when we look at 8 months after when we're getting Barry. So we're still on similar power levels. That's cool. Like, she didn't get outclassed. But I'm worried about the next single target or the one after that. Because Yui right now, the new Yui coming out here, or actually, no, not here. Basically, the new Yui come out, she could be absolutely fucking disgusting, depending on the numbers. She could absolutely be disgusting. And she's basically going to power creep every prior unit. And that is worrying to me. That is worrying to me. Power creep is the way of life. I mean, yeah, it is. I play a lot of Dokkan, so power creep just does not bother me as long as units... Yeah, I'm the same way. But it's like, for as Dragon just said, about 6 minutes ago, apparently, because I've been yapping about this, power creep is needed in all live service games, and that's absolutely true. You need it to some extent. It should not be extreme amount where every single patch or two, you have extreme power creep. Like, the newest unit should not just make the last unit just came out fucking done. But every 6 months, I don't mind. But like I said, I would much rather see a more of a gradual power creep of where, you know, like the new unit is a little stronger. But yeah, where we see very, very small bits and pieces of power creep. You know, where the new unit is a little stronger, a little stronger, a little stronger, a little stronger. And that's what I like seeing. That's fair. As much of a flop as Akechi? No, Akechi was way worse. Akechi was the biggest flop of the game. Figure Mott is a fine unit. She's just, in comparison, like I said, going from 6 months, or just about 6 months, there wasn't anything, like, if you had Makoto Nijima, you didn't need Mesa, you didn't need Figure Mott. Both those units got, like, were just outclassed, or, like, were on par. That's 6 months. That's a lot of units. One element might be somewhat element for your DPS. I mean, the way element for DPS is just extremely dull. I'm skipping. Yeah, on exists because that means you really don't need. As for DPS, she's a sub DPS. I mean, when Yui first came out, she was the main DPS. You got to think when she first came out, our team. When Yui first came out, our team was Soy, Closer, and then just imagine Cord as Yui. This was the team we were using at the time. This is when she first came out. This was our team, and then you of course switch out Cord. I mean Soy for I don't have Granny, but you swapped out Soy for Granny. That's how it worked. And then your Closer, your 4-star Closer was your sub DPS. But now, because of the fact that Yui's damage is so piss poor in comparison to Makoto, we can now use on this boss right here. We can now use on either Gateway, realistically Gateway, and also Guild Boss. I can now use Yui as a secondary DPS, as a sub DPS, and then use Makoto as my main. I am Zeely, I am. The best gotcha in terms of Power Creep F3, some of the best characters to this day are from years 3-7. I mean, yeah, that's cool. Right, Nikkei, I'm still using year /2nd. Yeah, I think that's great. I have no problem with units being strong, but like my thing is I want it all comes down to the DPS units. Like realistically, I have no problem with characters like Cord being strong. I have no problems with characters like Soy being strong. I have no problems with her Granny being strong. I have no problem with any of these characters being strong. It's the fact of I should not be able to use Yusuke, a year 1 unit, a month 1 or month 2 unit for the rest of my account history. Sorry, I should rephrase that. I should not be able to top the game in all aspects with a year 1 character. Because then it doesn't incentivize me to want to pull the new units. And that's where on live service games where it starts getting fickle. Because that's when they're going to start seeing rampant power creep such as an HSR, where if you don't pull the new unit, you're not able to full clear everything. And that's why I don't like.